Hey guys, and how's it going? Hey, we're going to continue on this 2007 BobCat Toolcat is what it's called. Kind of like a side-by-side on steroids. They're more of like a mix between a side-by-side and a farm tractor. This has a dump bed hydraulic in the back. In the front it has, you can put like a bucket on it, you can put a plow blade, you can put forks on it, and then get other implements that you can use on. It's diesel, it's got kubota in it. I rescued it. This is like the third video in. I rescued it from a property that was getting cleaned up. It had failed for charging system. The alternator was taken out of it, and then the owner got another alternator for it, and it just never got put back together and sat for a long period of time. The bed was filled with dog crap up to the top. It was used for, I should probably go over this. Guy was getting a lot of heat for it, but it was used for, he had dogs on the property, and they would put the doggy doo-doo in the bags in the back of it, and it was a real long driveway. Once it was full, he used to drive down the end of his driveway, and a disposal company would come and empty it. Well, it broke down, and the gentleman's health is not the greatest. He was never able to go fix it, so that's why it sat with all the dog crap in it and wasn't due to any kind of malice on his part. But that's what this machine was. That's what its job was. Anyway, moving forward, it sat for a long time. You know, the moisture from the ground got up underneath it. The starter was junk. The CVT transmission system was falling apart on it. The charging system, there was no alternator in it, put that in. The cooling system, you put water in it, it pissed out the bottom. You had to go make up new cooling lines for it, and a bunch of other little smalls. Anyway, we're to the point where at least we can get in it, fire it up, and drive it around, but it has no brakes and all that kind of stuff. So it still needs more love to it. On this episode, I would like to look at the brakes too, but the system is four-wheel drive, and it's automatic. It's not like I have a button that you could hit to turn the four-wheel drive on and off. Apparently it could sense when it's starting to slip, and it will engage the front differential. I see two wires going down to it, so it must have some kind of solenoid in there that turns it on and off. But I want to get it up in the air. Let's go see if that is even functioning. You know, I don't know what the over-under on that is. I'm going to give us a 50-50 on that one. But we'll see if that's working. If not, we'll look into that. And if it is working, we're going to go look into the rear drive shaft is wasted on it. We can rebuild that and then start looking into, you know, trying to make the thing stop. All right, without further ado, let's get some wrenching done, get her up in the air, and go have some fun. Here's that rear drive shaft while I have it up in the air. You can see how far gone that is. So, one of many issues to take care of. All right, let's get the front up in the air and give her a spin. All right, see what we get. That's good. It turned. I don't know about the other side. You guys had a better view than I did on that tire. All right, let's go get her back up in the air. Let's go play with that rear drive shaft. See if we can get that knocked out. I got the universal joints for it. So. Well, I must say, we didn't get very far before I found another problem. So I wanted to rotate the rear tires to get the shaft, the drive shaft rotated. There's a pin that we have to knock out. So I wanted to rotate it so that the pin would face up and down before I set the lift down and we can roll it. So what I did is I grabbed both tires and tried to rotate them. I'll see if I can do. Let me kick you forward a little bit. You can look at the drive shaft. There. Yeah, there's a drive shaft right there. And I'm grabbing both tires and I'm going the same direction with both tires. You can see how the motor kind of wants to turn, the drive shaft wants to turn a little bit. But I'm able to turn the tires, and that drive shaft should be spinning. I should not be able to turn both tires at the same time. So something is happening in the rear end where the rear end is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. I don't know if the gears are gone. I don't know if maybe it drives on front wheel drive and then the rear kicks in. I don't know the answer to that. So maybe we will, all right, you know what we can do? Let's go lift the front up. We'll see if the front is locked to it. Something, you know, I'm able to drive the thing in and out of there, so something must be engaged. But I don't see any wires on this rear differential. Like, how is this rear differential knowing, unless it's in the transfer case, you know, maybe the transfer case realizes the front's not turning and it locks the rear. I don't know the answer to that. I'll show you what I'm talking about in the front if we can see it. So there's our transfer case. And I was looking at the front differential, and there is somewhere on there, there's wires going into it. And I thought it would have been electrical. You turned it on and off with. Yeah, right? I think right there is where I saw them. See the black wire going down? I think that's where I saw it. Somewhere on it, I saw some wires going in. So let's go lift the front end. I'm not condemning it yet. So we'll lift the front end up again, and we'll try grabbing those two front tires. They should be locked to that. Something's got to be making it move, right? But if not, if that's the case, let's go take the rear drain plug out of it and see if we get any metal. Okay, I already tried it, and I can spin both front differential, and the drive shaft's not spinning. So the front does turn on and off electrically as it needs it, but that definitely does not explain how the back works. I've never seen one that can do what it's doing. All right, go get the drain plug out of it. All right, so I know this is gonna throw the comments wacky because people are gonna say, no, you were turning one tire one way and one the other. I wasn't. I grabbed both tires and pulled down on them and pushed up on them. I was able to spin them together. This did not turn. The front tires are up in the air now, and the back is on the ground. Let's go put, yeah, see that? Right now, so if we were putting power down, I could turn that around, and the wheels are not turning. So something is wrong inside there, unless there's some kind of weird differential setup that is in there. My guess is maybe, I don't know, broken axle or something, and it's allowing one side to spin. I remember him telling me he thought the tires were crappy, that it wasn't any good for plowing because it wouldn't do anything. My feeling is it probably does not have a rear drive, and as soon as it feels like the rear is not doing anything, the front turns on and it's just driving on the front yoke. So, all right. Yeah, gift that just keeps on giving, doesn't it? All right, let's, what do you want to do? I don't know how we're going to be able to access any of that. It's not like there's a rear differential cover we could pull off. Let's go pull the drain plug, or the inspection plug out of it, the fill plug, see if we can see anything. Get that out of there. Because it doesn't feel like it's got bad gears. It just, it doesn't have that kind of grindy feel when I turn that shaft. It's even. I just puffed a bunch of, let me go get a pan. Puffed a bunch of air out, huh? You know, I like having a couple of problems. It's good for making video content, but at some point, it's getting a little old, you know? I'm going to try getting a little flashlight. I'm going to let it piss out. The fluid actually looks pretty clean. I don't see any chunks coming out of it. Again, maybe indicating a, maybe like a sheared axle, or what if we have like an axle? Is there an axle nut on the end? Maybe it's you know, stripped out on one of the drums. I'm going to let that piss a little bit, and then we'll take a peek inside there. I don't know how well the camera's going to want to play well or focus or all that kind of stuff, but anyway, inside there is the differential. So it's got a gear in the front that feeds a ring gear. I believe that this is how this one's set up. Anyway, when I go to turn it, I do see that center section is rotating. So I don't think the ring and pinion is failed. I think it's more possibly it is an axle that is disconnected in some fashion and is allowing the whole assembly to turn. I don't know if it's a lock diff or a limited slip or what the issue is, but I was looking around a little bit more. Let me show you. So I'm kind of looking at it, and I see that wheel set up over there. You see the brakes are all kind of crunchy and dry. But I look over here, and you can see it looks like an axle seal is gone on this end, how everything's wet over here. So let's go get this tire off this side, maybe do a little exploration. And I don't know if the axle comes out of there or not. I'm not quite sure how it's bolted together, but my suspicion is possibly maybe is on this side due to the fact that, you know, that wetness is coming out of there. Let's go look. I don't know if you just pop that cap right off of there or get a screwdriver behind that. So that's going through and turning the other side. Man, I'm perplexed at how this system works, I gotta tell you. I'm still not convinced I'm not going down just a rabbit hole of something that isn't, you know, just works in a weird kind of fashion. But I don't know. My better senses is telling me different. Let's get the brake caliper out of our way. Looks like we got a bolt here and a bolt here. I want to kind of look into that, and I want to look into the brake system anyway. So let's get this off of here, and maybe we'll pop this out. Maybe allow us to get the rotor off. There might be just a couple of bolts behind there that we could pull an axle out. I don't know. What's your thoughts? Write it down. No cheating. No looking ahead. I still don't know the answer to this one. I got those bolts off, see if that caliper will slide out of our way. See what we got for a shopping list for, you know, brake components too. It's weird because it kind of turns the other side with a posi, and it'll spin the drive shaft, but you know the drive shaft's not spinning the axles. All right, we get the cutter key out, get that cap off, get that nut off of there, and see if we can get the rotor off. I think what it really is, I think I'm trying to talk myself into that, like it's okay, but deep down I feel like it's not. Definitely say I'm far off from when I bought it, and like I knew it was sitting for a while, but it's like, the charging system failed. We can go fix that, put that back together, give it a little bit of love, you know, weld up some rusty spots, put a battery in it, and be done. And I don't feel like the owner, I said, you know, people are going to say not. I don't think the owner kind of knew is having the issue that it's having. Let's grab a socket for that. Probably use a deep socket. I don't have it though. See if this will get it. Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, good. So, oh. Well, the axle won't be able to pull out of there, right? So what holds it? If that's just bolted to there, what's holding the axle in? What physically holds it? Gotta have a clip on the other side that's holding it. And if it was broke, you would think it would just slide out of there, right? It comes right out. All right, I gotta go think about this for a little bit. I don't know. So here's where I am. I can take, I got a screwdriver in the yoke going in, I got a screwdriver going across the threads. And I can influence on there a little better. Like that is locked together. But I was able to take this side of things and I was able to turn it. There it goes. And now it's free. It just does not make any sense to me how I could turn that differential. The tire on the other side can't move. It's on the ground, and the drive shaft not turn. But then it does lock in. I know there's a clutch in the center of it. There's a clutch that kind of locks together, and generally when you're going around a turn, it disengages itself, allows one side to turn, but the other side is still connected to put power to the ground, or else the vehicle would move. Now, obviously, if it didn't have front-wheel drive. I do have a book on it. Let's go look at pictures of that. I don't know if the lighting helps us or hurts us. Let's go zoom in a little. So here's what we have. Here's that differential. If we were to open it up, what is inside of it? And top cover, bottom cover. Here's the axle half coming in, axle half coming in. Here's where the drive shaft is attached to. And this is where we were just putting a bar in, we were turning it. So ring and pinion gear. I feel this and this are driving. We saw in there, it looked like it was okay. Well, then we have an axle one that comes in. This is the one that we're turning, going into here, which goes into a spline. And the other axle comes into the spline in here. And this is that differential that's in there. What type is in there? I'm not quite sure what this setup is. I don't know. I wish I could see these gears. It just feels, generally like when something fails, you can have it where it kind of like grinds and then catches and then grinds, or it just feels too smooth on its operation, the way it's working. Here's a picture of the actual what we would see in there. So here's that differential. You can see where I'm talking about, where the two halves would click together and not click together, like they pop out from each other and they could lock. So this will have a spline in it. There's the axle halves coming in, and then there's another section. Here's the differential, just showing you what the differential. And then we go back to, I got to go to 14. And then here is, so here's what is inside if we were to take one of the housings off. So here's that, we already have the rotor off of here. And actually the rotor, sorry, wrong side. So here we took the nut and everything off. Here's the rotor with the spline, the axle comes to the other side, and this is where the spline would go into that differential. And here's a picture of the, this is just, I think, this side of it. When I was looking inside the housing, I could see right here is where there's a bearing and there's a retaining ring. They're saying that you have to take this assembly out of it. You can then have the axle, I guess, walk backwards this way, and then you can press the bearing that's in here out that direction. Man, I'm just, I don't know if I should sleep on it and kind of contemplate. My gut tells me there's something wrong, and my gut is also telling me that there is something that you're just not familiar with, that it does what it's doing. Part of me wants to just put the wheels back on it, take the thing out to the woods, shove it against a tree, and floor it and see if the back tires spin. If they spin, then it's working like it should. But I've just never, I just can't wrap my head around being able to have both tires on the ground, spinning the drive shaft, and nothing moving in the back. It just kind of blows my comprehension of what is supposed to be happening. I feel something has failed in there. So, but I also don't want to tear into that rear end if I don't need to. Yeah, we're going in deeper. I want to, that's a drain plug right there. Let's pop that out, see if we can get any metallics coming out of it. I'm just not feeling good about it. I know there's something wrong, I just don't want to admit it. We're going to see any metal plops come out of there. Yeah. It's colorful. I don't see, like, I think it's something failed. I don't think it's like something that ground away and failed over time. I think something possibly may have snapped. Or we're still going down that rabbit hole of nothing. But I've never had a machine where you put both tires on the ground and you're able to turn the rear drive shaft. It just does not seem right to me. Hey, drain that out of there. You know, it's got the dirt that's in the bottom of it. I see no metal whatsoever. So my thought is, before we start, tearing into that, like right now, like I said, both tires are on the ground. You could put a screwdriver in the front yoke and just spin it. It's got drag, but you just spin it around. So let's go do the same to this side that we did to the other. Let's go get this side of it off and that center hub, and let's look at the splines in there, see if we have, stripped out or broken. And if not, my thought is it's maybe on one of these two sides that are in here. I don't think the splines are gone on that side. I was hoping it was going to be burnt right there. Try to see if I feel anything funny. I mean, it's turning the other side, so the axles are connected. Well, it is the next day, and I've kind of contemplated over what to do with this situation. And I think possibly there's a clutch set up in there. Somehow works with the all-wheel drive for it to lock and unlock, and in certain scenarios, it does what it's supposed to. That's my guess. So I'm gonna leave well enough alone. I didn't see any metal or anything in the fluids, so we're just gonna move forward and see what we get a little later on. We'll shove it up against a tree or something, but let's go move on, and we'll put that universal that is wasted in that dry shaft and take care of that, and then we'll start looking into the brakes. Okay, so that definitely has some issues, and to be able to get it apart, we got to drive that pin out, and then we could slide the whole thing forward off this union, and then it can go the other direction, and we get it on the bench. Yeah. Not long for this world, is it? Well, if the pin doesn't want to come out, we're just going to have to work with it where it is. So we'll get the clips out of it. And we'll try to get these two caps off, and we could take the rest of this and work with it on the bench. And try to put these two caps back where it is. Kind of like working on your car. Sometimes you had to do that for a differential. It doesn't come out, the yoke doesn't come out because the nut is in the center of it. So let me go do that. I'm going to keep picking away at this. We'll try to knock those caps out, hopefully. I'll take the other clip off. See if we get the whole thing out. Getting closer. That one. I don't know if it's going to want to go forward enough for us. All the rust that's up there too, you know. Get in there with a pry bar, maybe it'll push it forward the rest of the way and get it out of the knuckle. These two are just so frozen in there, it's not happening. That's got it. Like right there. Good. I can work this one I can work off, and this one I might just take a saw and cut it here and here, and then I'll be able to punch out the guts. There's that. Had some pressure on it, that's for sure. All right, see if we get something up in there to drive those caps out of there, what's left of them, or shatter them, one of the two. A little more squish into it. There we go. Kind of settle them a little. Good. All right. Go hit that with a grease gun. Should be able to get it. I got to turn it a little more. Kick it that way so I can get it. The other one doesn't have a grease fitting on it, but it looked pretty good. And the coupler I greased before I put it back together. So, all right, on to something else. Yeah. Drink up. Ew. Probably take about a quart or so. We'll fill that up. A little too much. Well, I want to jump over to the brakes. Let's try cleaning those rotors up. First, let's go try a Scotch-Brite. And if not, we'll go to like a flat disc sandpaper. See which one. If it's superficial, if it's deep down. Let's try the sandpaper real quick. Yeah, it's got a little bit of crunchiness too. I'm gonna work on that. I mean, it's not a car. It's not like we're going down the road doing 80, you know. Better than that. End up going back with like a regular sanding disc. It's about a 60 grit. And that got all that deep pitted rust out of there. Do the same to this one. This one actually doesn't look as bad. So probably going to order brake pads at some point, but for now I think just seeing what we have that functions. I don't know if the calipers are locked up or they're free or not, and we got to kind of free some stuff up anyway. So it should float on pins. These are like Allen bolts going through. Let's go buzz them out of there and we'll clean them up and we'll bolt everything back together. Maybe we'll try putting some brake fluid in the master cylinder, kind of pump it up and see if it can bleed whatever's here. Also, the emergency brake is this lever, and I believe they have like a screw that turns in internally and then gives, like when you hit the emergency brake, it just gives a little bit of a push off of that. The cable is broken in the front, it's not even connected. Maybe, I don't know if this is all the way forward or not. We may want, let's go try tapping that with a hammer real quick. See if that backs up. We're up by the master cylinder. It looks like it's got a dual circuit setup. Kind of fancy, huh? For something that's does 20 miles an hour. Unfortunately, it's .5. That stuff is 14 bucks a pint. Both chambers are empty. Oh, that's a bad sign, huh? So I don't know if we have a bad master cylinder, good master cylinder, bad wheel cylinders, good wheel cylinders. But I figure we'll just kind of go and see if the pedal even moves. And we'll try and pump it up and bleed in, bleed out whatever's in it. So that's a connector down below for the four-wheel drive. I wonder if we can unplug that, disconnect the front differential and see if it moves. Check that later. That might be it. I haven't even tried to hit the pedal, so. Could be totally functioning, could be totally locked up. Let's go open a bleeder in the back. We'll punch the pedal down a couple of times, see if anything pisses out of it. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that with a wrench. Let's go see. I have to put a socket on it. I don't think we're gonna get it this way, are we? Nah, there's no room to give her a swing. Yeesh. That don't feel good. Everything on this thing is like bound up. See if we can get it right out. We'll clean it up on a wire wheel. All the crap that came out from underneath it, that's not a good sign, huh? All the corrosion. Because there's a little hole down here somewhere that's supposed to allow the fluid to pass through. You can probably, let's go pump it without the bleeder on it, see if we get fluid coming up. There you go. Good. Probably should have put a tray under it. Let's clean up that bleeder and we'll give it a shot. We'll kind of like pump it up and see if it does what it's supposed to do. I'm glad fluid came out. That means at least the master cylinder is working. Yeah, that's clogged up solid. We're not getting anything through that. I'm going to take some carb clean and try to rinse that out. Then we'll give it a shot. Feels like it's got like a passage that it goes through. Okay, it hits a wall right there somewhere. But now that I looked at it a little bit better, kind of makes sense. This is just a fitting. That's why the hole's in the center instead of like, usually it's off to the side, like right here, right here. This is the actual bleeder screwing into this, the little tiny one on top. Usually the hole's in, never mind. Yeah, like that. Those little holes. Yeah, we got it. Thought it looked a little weird. Alright, so I'm going to go thread that back down in there. And then we'll pump up the pedal. And push. I want to purge all this old fluid out of it anyway, just to give it a fighting chance. But we'll crank all that down. We need the socket, don't we? Don't get in your eyes. It looks pretty clean. Didn't look that bad. I don't have that much pressure on the pedal setup. Crack it a little more. There it goes. So I'll leave it open. I'll just push through with the pedal. Oh, I'm going to go do that, the same to the other side. Again, I just want to, purge all the fluid out of it. And we'll see if the rear brakes are locking up. And unlocking up is the most important part. If not, we got to start getting into the calipers. And we still have the front to do. And side two, I got the bleeder cracked. This goes freed up. I got pressure on the pedal. And there goes the blocks of wood falling. Good, I'm going to do that a couple more times. Make sure all that fluid is new. We turn? Yes, we do. Good. Whoa! I feel the same way. So hit the brakes and all the back wheels lock up, and then when you let off, everything moves. The drive shaft is doing what it's supposed to and everything. Look at that. And then it does that weird. I can turn the wheel and nothing turns. I'm thinking there's some kind of clutches or something in there, and it sees so much movement. Didn't get to do it again. There it goes. And it hits. Now I'm able to turn this tire. The other tire is not turning. And that drive shaft's not turning. What's up with that? And just to speed things along a little bit, front wheels are free, but if I hit the brakes, they work. But I want to clean up those rotors and all, so I'm going to go pop the tires off still. Probably right on them, I'll take the little sander, clean the rust off the disc, and we'll just bleed the fluid through, so all the fluid that's in the calipers is clean stuff, not old corroded crappy stuff. Yeah, see if she'll pop for us. Oh yeah. All right, well, now that we got it to be able to stop all the way around, let's go let it back down. We'll get rid of the lift that's underneath it, and we'll unplug the front four-wheel drive. I think that should disconnect it, and we'll fire it up, and we'll see if it wants to go move. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm kind of going towards it's got failure issues, but let's go find out. I think it's this one right here. You can unplug. Get my hands in there. Where's the little squeezy thing? That it? There we go. Alright, let's go fire it up, see what she does. Let's go glow it a little. We got brakes. Happy for that. I ordered brake pads and a belt. It'll be here in a few days. Fire in the hole. Still feels like the front is pulling it. I saw the front wheel. I don't know if you guys saw it. The front wheel went, did a little one of those. Let's go take it outside and put it in the snow. We'll put it up against like a tree or something and see what it does. Something to push against. Knock that one over, it looks dead. Took a while to kick in, it wasn't doing anything. Let's go look at the other side. Strange setup. We'll try it again. flush the rear. Okay. Motorway makes you feel a little bit better. Top speed's supposed to be 25. It definitely doesn't have that. Brakes work good. I don't know if the idle speed is too high or it's just hard getting into gear cable wise. It's pretty stiff. It kind of fights you a little bit trying to get it in and out of gear. All right, where is that? Yeah, we got her back up. Let's go take a peek at everything. Someone was commenting that the water pump was leaking on the last one. It wasn't the water pump. It was a flange for the thermostat that the alternator attached to that was missing bolts. I tightened it up a little bit more and that seemed to have gone away. We have other fluids to go change and all. But I want to get, we just put water in it. So let's go try to break a hose here somewhere. Still checking for leaks. And we'll let the water piss out of it. I have antifreeze and I have to go get some distilled water. Let's go for maybe right here because that one looks like it's a little wet. Yeah, let's open this one up and we'll let it piss out. How hot is it? It's warm. I wanted it to kind of, you know, get all the rust and stuff circulating in it. That's probably a drain right there too on the block. I don't know if I want to mess with that. Alright, I'm going to go unclamp that. Let's go see what kind of brown water we get out of this. I don't think there's probably any pressure. I think it's hot enough. We ran, I don't know, what we run at 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Watch your eye. Get that a little more open. I know it's gonna get me. Could we just jam a screwdriver down the side of it and let it piss? That work? Here we go. We're gonna go lower the beast. No, I wouldn't say it looked terrible. We'll see what the bucket looks like a little bit later. A little bit of dirt came out of it. Kind of what I wanted. I wanted everything to get, you know, kind of same with the oil. We got the oil in the engine splashed around a little bit so we can drain that too. Can you see? Ooh. Looks a little worse when you look in the pail, right? All right, I'm gonna go eat. I'm gonna let that go piss out for a while, see whatever I can get out of it. And I have to pick up some distilled water to mix with the antifreeze that I have. Sometimes you crack the cap and it makes it drain better. Let's air in. Yeah, here, pick up. Yeah, I'd say it was pretty dirty. Muddy, sandy kind of stuff. I may go in We'll dump that. We'll throw some more water in it. I'll circulate it again and dump it one more time. If it was warmer outside, I'd hook a hose to it and kind of let it flush. But we'll give it another shot and then we'll put some antifreeze in it.
Let's go run it some. Soft sand up here, we're gonna run it. Deer running around dragging their feet. See ya. Other than that clutch rattle a little bit, seems to be okay. Alright, sure warm the water up enough again. Let's go piss that out. I'll put some antifreeze in it and we'll start taking care of some of the little stuff that's on. It's got like wires and switches and stuff hanging. We'll start buttoning some of that stuff up. I got a belt coming. It was supposed to be here today, didn't make it. So we can't button that stuff up underneath. It's a quick change, but to pull the cover off and take the air cleaner and everything out of the way, I'm just gonna let that hang for now. Unfortunately, it cuts into our top speed. Like I said, it's like 15 mile an hour it runs right now, where it's supposed to be top speed of 25. Yeah, for those who don't know, sometimes antifreeze comes in pre-diluted or concentrate. This says concentrate on it. And depends on what your mix is. Most of the time you just do 50 to 1 or 2 to 1, 50 to 1. So that just means you add a gallon of this and a gallon of water, and essentially distilled water, I guess regular tap water, which I've used plenty of times. Just the minerals that are in it can cause corrosion on stuff. So hence the distilled, it pretty much kills anything that's in it. So I grab one of those and grab a jug of distilled water, and I'll make us a mix up. It's probably only going to take a gallon of it anyway, and then I'll just mark that for later. Uh-oh, this water might be going bad. It's coming out in slush. It's in the back of my truck. Come on, get in there. If you can get in there, it'll thaw out. Alright, leave it like that. How's that? I'm changing all the fluids. I go for the oil drain plug in. There's that. I can try hammering a 6-point socket on there, see if we can get it to crack loose. I feel like this thing was owned by like a trade school. And they tried to learn on it. There we go. Bet you that it's gonna be nice and clean, huh? See if we can get it without making too much of a mess. The drain plug unfortunately leads the wrong way. There you go. What? Uh-oh. It's going the wrong way. There's a skid plate right below it, and it leans backwards. Let me go get a piece of paper to put underneath it. Yeah, another use for duct
tape. Hopefully it has enough curve back, you know. And what do we do about it? We can come and put another one this way. This is a little oily under there now. Put one down. Think that'll do it? Let's try it. It's gonna gurgle. It still ain't going where we want it to. It's going somewhere. I don't want to sit here forever though. If the breather cap was open on top, it would just come right out. That's nasty, huh? Can't go anywhere. Could I get like a wrench or something underneath it to hold it up? Yeah, like that. Alright. I'm gonna let that do its thing for the next hour and a half. Gotta get that oil filter off too right there. Yeah, I cracked the cap. That's got her. Now she's emptying out pretty good. I was in the process of changing out the fuel filter, which is a lot. And this is what came with it. Check it out. It's got its own little drain in the bottom of it. I don't know if you get water or something, you can kind of use it like a water separator and allow the whatever's in the filter to come out of it without taking it off. I thought that was pretty cool. One thing diesels don't like is to be run out of fuel. They can be a pain. So hopefully, there we go. We're going to fill the filter first so that it doesn't have to try to catch up. Yeah, you get the idea, right? I was chasing a couple of things. Moved that clamp. There was a little bit of an oil leak right here. Keep an eye on that. That's where the filter is down below, and it looks like it's got a bleeder on it. But I want to try bumping the idle speed down just a hair and see if it's a little easier to shift in and out of gear. It seems like when it's running, you go to try to take it out of gear, it's like it's got drag on it. So here's the throttle down here. That's the throttle. It's got like a full throttle, and then it has a stop on it right there. So I'm going to go back that off and see if we can knock the idle down a little bit, see how it sounds, and do a little bit tweaking and see if it makes any kind of improvement. Again, I know I still need a new belt on it. We'll wait. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that in time for this video, but we'll see. Let's go play with that. It goes in without, I'll put you a little bit, but definitely it's got some more drag on it. I'm going to leave it where it is. I'm going to lock it down, and until I get that new belt, I'm not going to go play with it. I think it possibly is trying to turn the clutch a little, and because it's doing that, it's why it's putting drag on the system. Now I'll get some lube on that shifter cable. Upper and lower. Can I get in there? And there. I'll run that up and down, and I'll do the same on the lower half, which probably has more of the damage. That's where the rusty spot is. All right, pretty much did all the fluids, topped them all off. You're looking good, front differential, trans, all that kind of stuff. It's got wires hanging out of the dash, which I believe is probably a switch for here, but it doesn't say what it does. It does have a fuse, so let's go jump those two together and see what turns on. We'll be super safe. We'll use a fuse to be the jumper between the two. I think I gotta really bend these away a little bit. Go like that. We'll go like that. Make it work? Let's go turn the key on. I see light. That's what I see. It's outside of it lit up. Oh yeah. The pumps make it flicker. We got back ones too. But yes, we do. Look at that. All right, I'm gonna go try to scoop up a switch to shove in there. Apparently it didn't blow the fuse, so let's get rid of that. Well, this can go terribly wrong. Well, I didn't flip over backwards. That's a good sign. Well, we got a bunch of work to go do on it, but we're just pretty much out of time. You know, I'm out of daylight too. Just about ready to be sunset. But so far, at least it's to the point where it's up and running and driving, starting with the key, moving around. The shifter is better with the lower RPM, so that did help some. But I think for this video, I think we're gonna kind of tap out. We got a bunch of stuff to go chase on it. Yeah, again, the other belt, that clutch is really clacky. I know at some point we're gonna need to replace that. I don't know what's going on with the rear end, whether it works and it doesn't work or sometimes works. You know your thoughts on that one. We got the tailgate, the bed, it's beat up, got to go fix that up. Put the doors back on it. And we can put the plow on it or the bucket and we can try running it around to see how it is for pushing snow and all. Well, for this one, guys, I don't think we're going to tap out. Thank y'all for hanging out, doing some wrenching with me. I don't know if we're going to follow up on this one. It's supposed to get snow, I think Monday or Tuesday. Whether I get to it and be able to push some snow around, it's to be determined, but I got some other stuff coming up. So for now, guys, we're going to tap out. I thank y'all for hanging out with me, doing some wrenching, trying to bring some lemons back to life. And, you know, should have known it was loaded with shit in the back of it. It might have been a turd. All right, guys, we're done polishing a turd for this one. I'll see you soon. Later. Yeah, pretty good at winning. I know if you hit it with speed, we'll make it, but not today.